Hello, beautiful people. Today is 24th of June. My name is Sahil, and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, she is Amrita Pritam, who was the first female winner of Sahitya Akademi Award and was an influential poet and often talked about the rights of the women. She says, when a man denies the power of women, he is denying his own subconscious. Therefore, friends, to recognize or to talk about the empowerment of women is indirectly the recognition of own potentialities of the mankind. Friends, we can use this particular quote into the questions relating to the women empowerment into the GS paper number 1 society, as well as into the questions of GS paper number 2 social justice. Now, friends, discussing the mains question that I gave you yesterday. So, the question is on to the transparency. The question says RTA provides a priceless opportunity to redesign the process of governance, but often considered as challenged by the public authority. Comment in the context of special reference for the need of transparency into the times of crisis. First of all, as I tell you every day, your question or your answer should be divided in three distinct parts. Now, guys, the question is saying that the RTI is good, but the implementation of RTI is not being effective due to the public authority. So, into the intro, we will be writing about the basic philosophy of RTI, that it was intended to promote the culture of openness, transparency, and clarity. Now, friends, earlier with respect to the democratic policies of India, there was a saying that in India, secrecy is a norm whereas openness is an exception. And when RTI came, it wanted to reverse that particular thinking and brought an orientation where the openness became the norm and secrecy became an exception, and therefore a new era into the democracy was started. However, guys, as the status quo is often preserved by the existing institutions, the same kind of resistance came from various quarters, and often that particular thing was based onto the technicalities such as definition of public authority, or by the deriving the powers from the Official Secrets Act or the National Security Act and all these kind of things. So guys, it is nothing but the evolution of RTI, and as the crisis into the present times are coming, the transparency is again needed to be upheld. And you can give the examples which I gave you yesterday with respect to the food, with respect to the hospital and all that kind of thing. Now guys, moving to the conclusion, you will be writing that how democracy depends onto the voice, and the voice can only be gained when the information is given to the citizens. Moreover, here the specific role of the higher judiciary as well as the Chief Information Commission needs to be highlighted, as they are the true preservers of the information regime in India. So, guys, this is the basic thinking line on which you need to develop. So, guys, that's all. And now let's take up the newspaper analysis. So, friends, let's take up the overview of the entire paper. So, guys, here the India China is continuing, nothing important to discuss. Then, guys, here the rules with respect to the country of origin on gem has been changed, so we'll see what has happened. Then guys, with respect to the new COVID-19 Ayurvedic cure, certain issue has came, so we'll see. Then guys, H1B visa has been suspended, so see, we'll see that what actually has happened here. And now moving forward, so guys, into the city and the region section, no important news are there. So we'll be going on to the page number 5, and here we can see that a special kitchen scheme has been announced, so we'll see how we can use it in the exam. Then guys, we'll come into the editorial section. Now, this particular editorial talks about a murder and the High Court judgment onto that, not important for UPSC exam. Then, guys, how the states are assuming the arbitrary power. After that, now the H1B visa has been continued, so we'll see that what is the impact. Now, guys, it is a tribute, not actually required for the UPSC exam. Then, guys, the transforming education, so we'll see that how the reforms can be brought. Now, guys, this particular article discusses that India should use the air power into the crisis which is going on. Guys, not important for the exam because substance is not there into the article. Then moving forward into the next page, we'll see that what are these true NAT tests, and after that Malabar Lane will be discussing because it has completed the 100 years. Then guys, into the news section, not important news are there. So all the news with respect to the COVID and all such kind of things are there. Opportunities page, not important for us. Showcase, not important for us. Then again showcase, not important. Then guys, onto the world page, again the conflict has been discussed and the rising number of cases have been discussed, not important for the exam. On the business page, apart from the corporate news, the money supply has increased, so we'll see that what has happened here. Then guys, onto the final page also, usually there is one news here but today nothing has been given. And now let's take up the detailed newspaper analysis. Friends, here we can see that certain changes have been made with respect to the procurement from the government e-marketplace platform. Now, before coming into the news, let's look into the background. Now, guys, government department offices and ministries, they need large number of goods and services for their day-to-day functioning. And for that particular thing, they need a portal or a platform from where those goods and services can be procured. So in that particular direction, the GEM portal has been made. So here in this portal, you can see that there are different type of equipments which can be seen and which can be bought by comparing the price. So, friends, in a nutshell, it is just like Amazon or Flipkart for the government procurements. Further talking more about the GEM, so guys, it is a special purpose vehicle, which means that it has been created for one specific purpose and it is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Now, recently, when the Atmanirbharta Abhiyan was announced by the government, at that point it was said that all the procurements whose value is less than 200 crore rupees, they will be made from the Indian made goods only. And now the same notification has been applied to the GEM platform. It has been said that all the sellers who are selling their products, they need to show the country of origin certificate so that it can be ascertained that the major part of the good has been made or sourced from the India only. However, friends, you don't need to go too much into the specific details as what are the class 1 suppliers, what are the class 2 suppliers, because it is not uses needed for our exam. Moreover, guys, the GEM platform can also be used as an example for the transparency into the government procurements, because often it was alleged that there happens to be a large corruption here. Moreover, at the same time, it also provides a market to the large MSME sector which are making varying type of goods and items. And guys, it also helps the MSMEs to make a history of transactions due to which they can go and access the capital from the bank and can further enhance their capabilities. So there also you can use it as an example. So friends, that's all. Now we'll move to next. Friends, recently a medication for the COVID 19 was announced by the Patanjali Research Institute. And now the Ministry of Ayush has questioned that what are the credentials behind the medicine that has been launched by the Patanjali. Now, friends, dealing with the public health is a very serious affair, and for that particular thing, there needs to be adequate research, testing, and there needs to be a strong sample size which can prove whether a medicine is effective or not. Otherwise, it can work contrary and can impact the health of a patient into some serious manner. Therefore, government has asked to provide the information such as the details of the name and composition of the medicine, the hospital where the research was conducted, the protocol sample size, the institutional ethics committee clearance report, then the clinical trial registry India registration and the result data of the study. Moreover, at the same time, the advertisement of the drug as a miracle drug also needs to be stopped. Now, friends, this particular drug claims that it can completely treat the patients within 7 to 14 days. And due to this particular thing, a kind of a magical healing power has been claimed, and therefore it becomes an important consideration under the Drugs and Magic Remedies Act 1954. Now, this particular act prohibits the advertisement of any drug which claims to have some miraculous healing power or some magical type healing powers. And guys, 54 conditions or diseases have also been mentioned under this act for which advertisement needs to be highly regulated. Therefore, such kind of advertisement can run contrary to the Drug and Magic Remedies Act 1954. Further, guys, moving into this particular direction, even government has announced the Drug and Magic Remedies Amendment Bill 2020 into the Parliament. And as per the amendments, majorly three things have happened. Number one, imprisonment as well as a fine has been enhanced, and guys, jail up to 5 years can be imposed if anybody violates the act. Secondly, the advertisement of the pharmaceutical products which promises the fairness or the avoidance of the graying hair or hair loss has also been added as an offense. And friends, personally, this was much needed step, because into the Indian society, due to the uncontrolled advertisements, a kind of a stigma has been created against the people who have a dark complexion, which is very much natural into the tropical countries such as India. But due to the consumeristic practices, the dark complexion is being treated as a curse, which is very much bad. And thirdly, guys, the existing list of diseases has also been enhanced, and right now there are 78 diseases which are being proposed to be added here. So friends, on these lines, there could even be a probable question into our exam, because such things have been asked into the past also. So that's all. Now we'll move to next. Now, friends, here we are merging two articles, one from the page number one and other editorial, where we will see that recent move made by USA for suspension of the H1B visas and the impact that it will be having for the India. First of all, friends, H1B visa are provided by the USA under their Immigration and Nationality Act, so that employers can hire the employees from the overseas country for some specialized and some technical kind of work. So guys, most of the IT engineers and technicians, they go to US onto the H1B visa. Now, every year H1B visas are issued onto the lottery basis, and there is a limited number of quota as how many visas can be given. Now guys, if we talk onto the ground, then the majority of H1B visas are given to the Indians because of their specific talent set as well as their willingness to work onto the lesser wages when compared to the workforce of indigenous American people. Now, further, guys, these visas are initially issued for the period of 3 years and further can be extended up to 6 years. So, guys, it is a kind of a long term engagement. And from the very start, Donald Trump has been very much critical of the H1B visa, because Donald Trump is a propagator of the America First policy, where he believes that first right onto the American resources should belong to the American citizens. Now, friends, due to the pandemic induced economic slowdown, it is being said that the unemployment rate in USA has increased alarmingly to 13.3%. Moreover, 20 million people have lost their job between February to April. And guys, therefore, the rivalry for the economic resources is even intense, and job market has shrunk considerably. And now, if H1B visas will be allowed, there will be further competition and the America First policy will be impacted. Therefore, starting from 24 June up to this calendar year, the visas are being suspended. Moreover, friends, though H1B is the major one, but it is not the only visa which has been banned. Rather, other varieties of visas has also been banned. For example, the H2B visa, which is given to the short-term seasonal non-farm workers, J1 visa, which are given for the professors, student for the exchange programs, and the student for study work purposes, and further the H4 visa, which are given to the dependents of the people who come on to the H1B visa. Now, friends, it is being expected that by the suspension of the visas, nearly 5.25 lakh workers will not be able to enter the country, and therefore, such job prospects will flow to the American citizens. Now, friends, if we analyze this particular move, then we can see that it is the clear manifestation of the populistic policies that Donald Trump is being going into due to the elections that are due into the November this particular year. Friends, according to a poll that was published by the University of Maryland, nearly 65% of Americans want that some halt onto the visa should be made. So, guys, well, this is a populistic move aimed towards the election this particular year, in which Donald Trump again wants to get re-elected. Moreover, all this thing is also being done onto the pretext of restoring the economic stability into the nation. However, friends, the corporates such as Google, Alphabet, Microsoft, etc., are not particularly happy with this move, and even the Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Alphabet, has said that it will be working counterproductive as companies' ability to hire more productive and efficient workforce will be restricted, and in a way it will impact the productivity of the corporates. Further, if we talk about the Indian IT industry, then it will also be impacted by the move, guys, because we have nearly $150 billion IT industry, in which major leaders are TCS, Infosys, and Wipro. And into the aftermath of present ban, they need to wait for the next year before getting the majority of workforce, as they inherently depend onto the Indian workforce market. So friends, there are large number of implications, and into the aftermath of this, Indian IT sector needs to reinvent in this self, because these populistic measures will be the new normal into the times to come. So guys, that's all. Now we'll move to next. Guys, here we can see a reference of social justice, as the Rajasthan government had started the special kitchen scheme for the poor so that people don't go hungry. Guys, into the aftermath of pandemic that was going on, Rajasthan government started the Bhukha Nahi Sone Denge Abhiyan, in which no one was promised to go to sleep hungry. And there, the subsidized food was promised, and to implement that particular thing, the Indra Rasoi Yojana is being started, where the concessional food will be given to the people. Now, guys, this particular initiative is onto the line of existing Amma Unavagam or the Amma canteens and the Indra canteens of the Karnataka. Further, friends, this particular effort can also be used as an implementation of the sustainable goal number 2, where the zero hunger is to be achieved by 2030. So, friends, on these lines, all the state governments should take certain initiatives, as it will be highly usable for the vulnerable and unfortunate sections. Friends, do use it as an example into your answers in GS number paper number 2, where you are writing about the good governance and the interventions taken by the government for the vulnerable sections. So that's all. Now we'll move to next. Now, friends, we are into the editorial section, and the first editorial talks about the arbitrary power which might be assumed by the state into the time of crisis. And if such arbitrariness is assumed, then how it leads to the loss of freedom to the fellow citizens, which happens to be the most crucial element of a dignified life. And friends, many a times, for example, during the time of emergency of 1975, state has assumed the arbitrariness, where the liberal and democratic values were nearly absent onto the practical consideration, and the fundamental rights of citizens were also tampered with. So, guys, into the guise of crisis, the arbitrary power leads to the social as well as political slavery, which is not required into a democratic setup. So, guys, this is the entire idea which has been carried throughout the editorial, and with respect to the concrete issues, it is not dwelling onto that particular line. So I'll recommend that you go through the article by your own self, and you will get a glimpse onto the writing style which has been used here. Guys, there's nothing more that we can discuss. If you want, you can read it. And now we'll move to next. Friends, this particular editorial talks about certain transformational changes that are required into our educational setup. Now, guys, into the aftermath of pandemic, the idea or the environmental and natural consciousness has developed into the people, and now everybody is talking about the environmental concerns, the zoonotic diseases, and the need to maintain the healthy difference between the forest and the civilizations. Moreover, guys, even before the pandemic began, there was talks into the think tanks about making a kind of a green economy which is more sustainable and keep the concerns of environmental conservation also into the mind. But if we see, nothing concrete has been achieved on this particular end, and rather, once the vaccine will be developed and the fear of pandemic will be over, people will also forget all the consciousness which they have developed now. Therefore, it has been suggested here that we need to reform the education system of the country, so that from the very nascent and early age, a kind of a inbuilt consciousness can be developed. Now, guys, if we see the curriculum, then our discipline is divided into the compartments of subjects. For example, there is history, there is a geography, there is environment, and all of them are distinct with each other, and there is no synchronization or interconnectiveness between them. For example, history is divided with respect to the wars that were being fought, with respect to the dynasties and all that kind of stuff. But in that place, history should be connected with the ecological themes. For example, when the Britishers laid the railways into India, it should also be taught that from where the fuel for that particular thing came, from where the wood to lay such infrastructure came, what was the impact of such deforestation into the local communities as well as onto the local environment. Similarly, at the time of teaching geography, it should also be taught that the how cities develop and what impact it led to the coastal region, into the hinterlands, and at all such associated landforms. And guys, this kind of interlinkage is not only needed into the humanities, rather it should also be extended to the science curriculums. For example, chemistry should not begin from the periodic table. Rather, it should start with the interaction between the environment, ecology, and the human surroundings. It should take up the topics such as the nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus cycles, what impact they have on our atmosphere, and all such kind of thing. So, guys, the curriculum should be devised into the holistic manner and focus on to the entirety, and synchronization is needed to be given rather than making different subject as different compartments. So in this particular direction, the curriculum developers need to restructure the ways of imparting knowledge so that all these consideration kept in mind. So therefore, guys, whenever we are writing any question onto the environmental consciousness, this particular dimension can also be explored. So that's all about this article. Now we'll move to next. Now, friends, here the Kerala government has requested the central government to test the expatriates with the True Nat test in order to ascertain that the ones who are coming are actually COVID 19, so that the safety of the passengers into the aircraft can also be maintained. But central government has denied the True Nat test for everybody. So, guys, little bit we see if True Nat test, then it is the test which had got the approval from the ICMR, and this particular test earlier was being used to ascertain the tuberculosis into the people, and now it has been tweaked even to check the prevalence of the COVID-19. Moreover, it is a handheld test which can be operated by a person with minimal training and without the actual need of a laboratory. Moreover, the test results can come within the 1 hour time. So therefore, it is also very fast. However, the central government has rejected it for the time being. So guys, that's all about this particular news. And now we'll move to next. Now, here, guys, a controversy had erupted onto the movie that was being made onto the Malabar Rebellion. We don't need to go into the controversy, but as 100 years have been completed by the Malabar Rebellion, so guys, we will discuss what this rebellion was. Now, friends, the stage for the Malabar Rebellion was set in 1920 when in India Khilafat movement was on its peak, and along with the Khilafat, the non-cooperation movement was also started, where the Mahatma Gandhi as well as Shaukat Ali were the two prominent leaders. In fact, Shaukat Ali was the main proponent behind the Khilafat movement. Now, guys, the Khilafat movement's spirit reached to the South India, and there a Khilafat committee was formed into the Malabar region for the Mapilas. Now, these Mapilas were very poor Muslim peasants who were subjugated by the landlords, and these landlords were supported by the Britishers. So, a kind of a support was given to the Mapilas so that they can fight the system of injustice in which very high taxes were being collected. Moreover, guys, the Indian National Congress also supported the Mapilas, and the agrarian reforms were asked as well as independence for them was also asked. Now, guys, all these things were going on, but it culminated into the clash between the Hindus as well as Muslims, and it was alleged by various right wing groups that Hindus were subjugated far more than the Muslim counterparts. Now, guys, all these sequences of the Malabar Rebellion culminated in 1921, and by many historians, Malabar Rebellion has been called as the first South Indian struggle or resistance against the Britishers. But there are other historians also who dispute it as a resistance against Britishers and condemn it as a communal dispute between the Hindus and Muslims. However, what is the true version? It has not been ascertained by any official accounts. Now, guys, when all this thing was going on into the South India, there was one more hero of the resistance, that was the Kunjamad Haji, who gave a very strong resistance into the Malabar region and also ran his own parallel regime against the Britishers with its own army, own currency, own passport, etc. But finally, he was executed in 1922 by the Britishers. So, guys, with the Malabar rebellion, the name of the Kunjamad Haji also comes. So, please keep in mind. So, that's all. Now, we'll move to next. Now, friends, here we can see an important concept that the money supply in economy is increasing. And guys, this money supply hints that uncertainty is there into the economy. So let's understand this particular concept. See, what happens, money supply is the total money that is revolving into economy, that includes the money with the people, money with the bank as a demand deposits and other kind of demand deposits and all this kind of thing. So this money supply is increasing, and generally when it increase, it means that people are more optimistic and now they are willing to spend more, and therefore the liquid assets are increasing. But right now that indication is not being given, rather it hints that people are apprehensive and uncertain with respect to the pandemic. So therefore they had encashed their assets, they have broken their fixed deposits or other such type of deposits where there was a limitation to withdraw the money, and now they are keeping the money as the cash in hand, or they are keeping the money into the demand deposits, so that whenever they need they can draw that particular kind of thing. So guys, due to this particular thing, the money supply into the economy is increasing. Now, coming to the normal times, when the money supply increases, the capital formation also rises. Capital formation means the investment into the assets which will be used for the further development and production. So, guys, capital formation is that how much of a plant was built, how much machinery was built, how much infrastructure was built. So, right now, capital formation has not been there. Moreover, the investment in other avenues has also not been there, because simply people don't want to block their money as the times are uncertain. So friends, into the absence of both these factors, if still the money supply is increasing, it means that people are keeping their money into more accessible kind of funds. They are breaking their term deposits. So that's all about this particular issue, and now we'll move to the question section. So friends, please pause the video and try to answer the question. So first question is with respect to Indian mapping. You need to tell about the Panchganga river. Question number 2, please consider the statement with respect to the UN Armed Trade Treaty. So please read the statement and identify the correct code. Now guys, question number 3, please consider the statement with respect to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, that is CITES. So please identify the correct code. Now friends, question number 4, please read the statement with respect to the frequency of earthquakes into the northeast. So please read the statement and identify the correct code. Now, guys, today's main question. The question is with respect to the GS paper number 3, agriculture. So, question says the strengthening of entire agricultural chain is a prerequisite not only for farmer welfare but also to ensure food security. So, friends, please write the answer and submit it for the review. Guys, I hope you like the discussion. Thank you so much.